Hello from me and my shiny bald dome, which I just realized looking at this camera view. Name is Blake with the Gain Train. Going to talk to you about minimum effective dose for resistance training today. Used to make these videos on Instagram, but going to do it on YouTube. Make it a little longer form, be a little bit more helpful, a little less influencer-y because they suck. And it kind of relates to this because they'll tell you do something. Anything is greater than nothing. One is greater than zero. Just take the first step. But it's not really helpful, especially if you're just somebody who hasn't been in the gym for like a decade and you don't know what to do. And they're like, just do something. And you're like, what? And you're like, a lot of this stuff hurts. Like, what should I? So we're going to kind of look at this real quick. Is anything really better than nothing? Obviously, yes. But how much? What should you be doing at minimum to see results? So how little can you lift and still see results? Well, a study was completed, it was published in 2022, that the bare minimum is one time a week on 6 different exercises to failure, right? So it looked at over 14,000 people, and it had them work out one time a week, just once. They did 6 exercises, and they did 1 set to failure on each exercise. So say you're working out at home, and you're going to do squats, lunges, sit-ups, leg raises, push-ups, and pull-ups, right? You warm up so that you don't get injured, and then you just do 1 set to failure. And that was enough to see strength gains. So within a year, they saw strength gains of between 30 and 50% above baseline. Now, year 2 and on, it plateaued, right? So the highest end was like a 60% strength gain above baseline. So it starts to slow down and then plateaus. But for that first year and then potentially a little extra, just working out 1 time a week can be enough to make you significantly stronger, right? And how long is it going to take you to do, these lifts to failure? Squats to failure, if you're really strong, and you're doing like really slow, controlled squats down and up, maybe 2 to 4 minutes, potentially longer. But push-ups, most people aren't going to take more than a minute to do a set of push-ups to failure. Same thing with a lot of ab exercises. Definitely with something like a pull-up, if you're not trained, you might get 1 rep, so it can be done very quickly. If you're already trained, if you're already doing resistance training, but you feel like you don't know how to get stronger, or you trained in the past and you want to get back into it, technically, 1 set to failure where you're failing between rep 6 and rep 12 is enough. Doing that 1 to 3 times a week will make you stronger. It's suboptimal, but the increase in strength will be significant. So there are better ways to train, but if you're just trying to be fast, get in, get out, get stronger, it works, right? And if you're somebody who's like, well, I don't really care about getting stronger, maybe I just want to lose fat or I just want to look better. One, that's a whole different can of worms. We can talk about why you still need to get stronger and build muscle, but let's talk about why you should care. So number 1 is longevity. Most people, well, I say this and everybody's kind of depressed a little bit. Most of the time, when you're having a good day, most people want to live longer. And we have a lot of studies on strength and length of life. So we have a study that was done over the course of 44 years on over 2,000 men, and it looked at how long their mom lived, their grip strength, and then a couple other factors. So they broke it down into, those that died at 79 or younger, those that died in their 80s, those that died in their 90s, and then centenarians, people who lived to be 100 years old. The centenarians, the people who lived to be 100 years old, were 2.5 times more likely to be in the top third for grip strength when compared to the people who died at 79 or earlier. The only other thing that was correlated that strongly was how long their mom lived. So it's genetics and it's strength. So making the best use of what you've got with that strength to help you live a longer life. we've got a study that was done on over 115,000 people that resistance training 2 times a week decreased risk of dying during the 8-year study by 30%. And it looked at, aerobic by itself did not make a significant difference, but aerobic and resistance training combined, which aerobic is like cardio, so don't worry about that right now. But it reduced the risk of dying. And then you have a meta-analysis that was done of, over 1.5 million different subjects and 16 studies. And resistance training consistently 1 to 2 times a week reduced all-cause mortality 10 to 17%. Right, we're talking heart disease, diabetes, cancer, like all of it, 10 to 17%. So you're going to live a longer life. Life quality, mobility, right? Strength and resistance training through a full range of motion is going to allow you to be more mobile and more active. And because you are stronger through those ranges of motion, you will be less likely to get injured. An injury plus a lack of mobility at an older age, at advanced age, can be a ticket to the dirt. This is old information. Don't know if it's been updated, but I took a course in college where the professor told us about a study where this was people beyond retirement age, so 65 plus. If they fell and had an injury like a broken hip, the classic broken hip where they broke a leg or some sort of severe lower body injury, it was something like over 80% of them died within a year, right? And there could have been some other confounding variables, but it's just mobility and movement is life. And some of these studies, they even consider exercise like gardening and swinging a hammer and stuff like that. So doing something to live a longer, healthier life, to be able to do the things you want to do, right? To be able to play games and play with your family and friends and go outside and do stuff, ride a bike, like to be able to do the things you want to do. So just remember this, minimum effective dose. If you feel like you don't have time, take 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, pick 6 exercises, do them one time to like failure. Once a week, you will get stronger if you're untrained. Obviously, this is for people who haven't been in the gym for a long time. If you have been in the gym for a while, that's a different story. But this is the minimum effective dose to get results. And we want results because we want to live longer. Most of the time. I don't have anything funny to say. I usually have funny sign-offs on Instagram. I don't have anything funny to say. And I don't have an expo marker because I used to throw expo markers at the wall. But here's a pen. It's gone now. We'll see ya.